Hello everyone, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Fair. I'm Nivedita Raje and today we are going to discuss about National University Bangalore, a strategy with which you can begin your preparation and the details about this college as to what the cutoff is, what the admission criteria is, what the academic pattern is, everything related to the Harvard of the East as we call it, the most important, the best college or the best national schools of this country, right? Good evening, everyone. How are you all? Hi, good evening, good evening. So, this college, as we know it, is the dream of all the students who are aspiring to do law, the wonderful college, the best of all. And, its voice is not clear. Is voice not clear to anyone or is it just Alfia? Echoing. It is echoing. It should not echo. Can you make out what I'm speaking? Are you able to decipher what I'm speaking? Prashant, we are going to see, even if it is echoing, if it is good enough for you to decipher what I'm saying, I think we should be okay, right? So Prashant, we are actually going to release success stories of our students who qualified. They'll be out very soon, so just wait for it and you will understand. Your dream college is GNLU. See, every national university, especially the tier ones or any national university that you aspire, have a same strategy. It is your consistency and your effort that determines which NLU are you going to land into. Okay, no particular college has a particular strategy. It is a comprehensive exam. It caters to 22 colleges. So there is no particular special strategy that you have to devise for one particular college. No, you have to put in your extra effort, like your effort, 100%, and then wait for the result. Then wait if you get into a good college. That's how you prepare for a competitive exam. Okay, you can never bet on anything. You can never be sure. So let's talk about the college first. NLS Bangalore was actually the college that started this admission process that we call CLAT, and it was started back in 2008. Common law, before 2008 they used to take entrance test for their students, but later on after 2008 they started conducting the admission test under the name based on common law admission test, and the first edition was the NLU in 2008. The first edition of NLU was in 2008, the status of a national university. So this is the BLLB program. The duration is 5 academic year. Each academic year in NLS Bangalore is divided into 3 semesters. Sanjana, it's very good. If you are able to get into a good college of MHCET, then also it's absolutely fine. GLC is a wonderful college. In fact, it has produced the best lawyers of this country. Okay, so that's not a problem. Yep. So the system or the academic pattern in NLS Bangalore is not of a by semester. It's not 2 semesters per annum. It's actually 3 semesters per year. Okay, and there's an average of 70 working days for each. Like you have almost 70 working days for each trimester. That's how burdened you are. The admission process, everybody is familiar, is through common law entrance test, which is CLAT. Eligibility is you need to have an unconditional pass with a minimum percentage of marks, which now is 45% or equivalent in general category and PWD. Aggregate for SC/ST is 40%, and you need to have your 12th mark sheet with you. The seats in NLS Bangalore is 80. That's it. Okay, these are the maximum seats. So seat reservation is this. Okay, it's not 80 actually. It's more than 80. Like there's a mistake here. It's more than 80. A little more than 80. So this is the seat division. About 93 positions or seats are reserved for general category. 18 or about 15% are reserved for the scheduled castes. 7.5% or 9 seats are reserved for scheduled tribes. 6 seats or 5% seats are reserved for horizontal reservation, which is called the PWD reservation, or people with disability. Okay, 25% of seats in each reservation of vertical category is is preferred under, like, the vertical reservation. There's a preference given to Karnataka students also, or the students of Karnataka, the ones who have domicile. So 25% of the seats are actually preferred for the students coming from Karnataka out of vertical reservation. This is the vertical reservation. General, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The average score is about 93 to get into NLS. Average. Okay. So this is the fee structure, everyone. Yes, Sanjana, you can go to any other college. NLU, of course, it is possible. 4 months and a half, it is definitely possible to qualify CLAT if you prepare smartly. Okay, so you have to be smart. Like, if you are smart enough, you can actually get into a very, very good college. It's not, you just have to play to your strengths. There's a certain way to do that. Okay, we'll discuss it later. Like, we'll discuss it in this session only. You can go to any college of your preference, Sanjana. It's, after all, your hard work that would determine your future, not a college. It can facilitate, encourage, act as a catalyst towards your future road, but it is, at the end of the day, it is you who would determine where you are going. Okay, so trust me, college has some role, but not a predominant role in determining a candidate's success. Okay, so for general category, the fees is 2,75,100 rupees per annum approximately. For SC/ST, it is 271,850 per annum, and for foreign nationals, it is about $10,000 per annum. Do they have LLB for 3 years? Not yet, but they're going to start that very soon. NLU, there are many colleges that give good packages if you are into corporate. If you don't wish to go for corporate, there are other options also. Okay. Other backward classes do not have reservation in NLS Bangalore, sadly, and nor do EWS. They don't give other backward class and EWS reservation in their colleges. That's the problem. OBC reservation is not in Karnataka. They give preference to their own students. Right, so yep. As you can see, this is approx cutoff for average cutoff, like you were asking me. For NLS Bangalore BLLB program, for general category PWD students, the average cutoff rank is 1727, 1727. For ST 3707, SC 1978, and for general category 98 is the average rank, cutoff rank, which can ensure your admission in this college. So you have to be among top 100 basically if you want to secure a college, or sorry, it's your preference. I don't have a preference. I was interested in neither. So yeah. So if you are actually desiring to NALSA give reservation for OBC, yeah, they do. Other backward classes, NALSA offers reservation. OBC in central level. So central level OBC will get reservation in central universities. NLSIU Bangalore is not a central university. It is practically possible, but there is a certain, actually it is, there's nothing which is impossible. Okay, with a little smart work and a little bit of, Almighty's hand or blessings, you definitely can qualify for NLS Bangalore in 4 months preparation, but you have to work your best. You have to give your best. The only thing in your mind should be NLS Bangalore. I think that would help you qualify for this college. But if I tell you the truth, it is not impossible. It is actually possible. Okay, So these are the placements, that the top placements that you can expect in NLS Bangalore. They actually cater to the best firms in the country: Amarchand Mangaldas, Suresh and Shroff and Company, AZB, Basin and Company, Anand and Anand, Clifford, Desai Divanji, DSK, Dua, K&W and Patters. Sanjana, like I said, it's completely your inclination. There is no such thing as better. They're all the same. You cannot say which is better. Is litigation better or is corporate? Both involve extreme hard work. So it's your inclination at the end. It is as if you're asking me, ma'am, what should I do, engineering or law? So it's your inclination what you go for. I really cannot make a choice for you. Daily college schedule of NLU is hectic. It's not that hectic. NLS Bangalore schedule is pretty hectic because they have the tri-semester system. In my college, there used to be 4 classes, 1 hour each, so 4 hours of college, which is not much if you ask me. So that is an average for every college, about 4 5 hours of college, and then you prepare on your own. So if you want to, you can. Yep. Now, these are the top companies: Bajaj, Allianz, DLF, Edelweiss or Wise. As you can see, these are the companies. I don't want to name all of them. Now, what can you do? If you want to qualify for NLS Bangalore in 4 months of preparation, there are certain things that you need to. Sorry, it is 23, not 24. My mistake. Sorry. It's 23. Actually, it is getting conducted in 22, so I got confused. That is why the mistake. I was in 2 colleges. I was in NLU Lucknow and I was in Nalsar for my PG. Okay, so the schedule in colleges is not as hectic. You definitely get time for everything else that you want. Of course, strategy. I have actually discussed strategy a lot of times. If you have seen my previous videos, a lot of times I have discussed that strategy that you can adopt. The strategy remains the same. I can tell you what you can do, but at the end of the day, it is you who have to decide everything, devise everything according to your convenience. Shift, there is no confirmation about it. There is no confirmation about it. There is no exam. They have just announced that they would be releasing that course also, but when is absolutely unsure. In the meanwhile, you can try DU, Lucknow University, Allahabad University, or any central university. NLU Lucknow is a good college. Like, I was in it and I had the best time of my life in NLU Lucknow. Well, if it has, then I'm not really sure about it. It hasn't. It hasn't started LLB 3 years in NLS. They did announce it this year that they're going to start, but they haven't started it. Yes, Muskan, you definitely should join it. Okay, so the question paper is, as everybody is aware, is based on comprehension passages. So if you are wondering how to get a high rank and get into this best college, you need to focus on the comprehensive preparation. You cannot go on to solve the factual based questions that were there before 2020, because they can give you a practice, but they cannot give you the required practice. If the exam involves comprehension, you have to practice comprehension only. You cannot do anything else. How many hours do you have? How many hours can you study? See, these are very, very subjective questions. How many hours can you actually devote towards your preparation? It's a subjective question. How many hours can you take out? How many hours can you extract? You must have school, coachings, other activities. So based on that, factor everything into the equation and then figure out how much can you give. According to me, you should be able to give 4 to 5 hours to your CLAT preparation right now. Anything less will not be fatal, but it is like proper. And if you can make this consistent, 4 5 hours of study for CLAT every day, you are sure to get into a very good college. Okay. I'm not aware of every college's fee structure. RML Lucknow has less fees. Jodhpur also is not that expensive. Patiala is not expensive. Bhopal, you have to see it yourself. Why don't you Google and see all the, the the course fee for every college? Like my college did not have Ujjwal. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure about it. The count you somebody would tell you. Okay. So Sanjana, you can Google that information. Take out some time, Google the course structure and the fee of every NLU associated to CLAT. Right. So that will give you an idea. I'm not aware of all the fees, like what every college charges. I'm really not. Delhi University does not offer BLLB 5-year course. No, it does not. Okay, so this is about our course. We have launched courses which are for repeaters and fresh candidates, everybody who wish to qualify CLAT, and we have devised it in a comprehensive manner, meaning thereby that they do not just cater to CLAT, they actually cater to all other examinations. So most of the courses will continue running even after you are taken CLAT. So this is the structure. There are recorded videos too, live videos too. There are so many practice questions. There are full-fledged mocks. Along with it, we will give you, yes, you can take a drop. It'll only be a 6-month drop, since the exam is in 4 months and a half. Ravinder, it's from the scratch. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not impossible. It's a little difficult, because there are students who have been preparing for a long time, and they must have gotten too ahead in their preparation. Yes, you can take a drop, Anushka. So if you like compare their preparation to yours, and you haven't even started, so you definitely are at a disadvantage. But if you somehow can manage to come on the same level within a month or two, then maybe you have a chance. That is an answer to Ravinder's question. Of course, it is there in NUJS. It is one of the tier 1 colleges of CLAT. Shivraj, 9 hours to CLAT is a little too much. You'll get bored and you'll stop preparing in 15 days. Do not. It'll begin after you have taken your board. So it somewhere around May, June. Okay. So Shivraj, that is too much. I mean, if you give this much amount of time to your preparation, this is going to be a little, like, excess of everything is bad, even preparation. So try to set achievable goals for yourself instead of doing this. 9 hours will exhaust you very soon, and then you will stop giving even 1 hour to your preparation. So don't do that. Even at this stage, 4-5 hours is more than enough. Tanmay, I have already answered your question. Please stop spamming. 4-5 hours is enough. Like for even NLS Bangalore, 4-5 hours is enough. I mean, there's a certain stamina, there's a certain extent. After a certain time, even mind stops functioning. So instead of giving so many hours, try to make good use of those hours. Try to set goals for yourself. This is what I'm going to do this day. Okay, and tick mark as soon as you do it. So instead of setting that I'm going to study for 9 hours, you might not be studying for 9 hours. If anything, 7 hours might be just getting wasted by Instagram or YouTube or your uh, in between distractions that everybody gets. So don't set your timetable based on hours. Set it based on goals. This is what I'm going to do. Do it every day. That's how you study. Online coaching is anytime better because it is more flexible. CLAT 24, I'm not sure, somewhere around July, August, I think. Shivani, I'm not aware of the fee structure of anything, whether it is mocks or courses. You have to talk to the counselors. Okay. So I can give you tips and techniques for separate sessions. So tips for CLAT quantitative techniques preparation is, first of all, the first thing is that you need not leave out the entire section. You cannot do it. The structure of the syllabus is based on class 9th and 10th mathematics, not 11th and 12th, 9th and 10th. Okay. And if you look at the previous year question papers, you'll figure out that most of the questions are based on simple concepts such as ratio, proportion, percentages. In fact, percentage is something that CLAT has been focusing on for 2 years consecutively. So you have to strengthen these basic concepts: ratio, proportion, percentages, those things that you have, profit and loss, simple interest. That's it. These are simple concepts that you need to practice upon, and you are through with the mathematics. Nothing extra is required. Nothing else is required. That is it. And if you are scared of mathematics, just practice 5 to 10 questions every day. That's it. 5 to 10 questions every day, and you will not be scared anymore. That's enough for quantitative preparation, because the strength or the length of the section is not as much. They're just 10 to 15 questions every year, and if you devote 15 to 20 minutes to quantitative preparation every day, or 2-3 times a week, then also it is enough. You can do all the questions just by simple regular practice. Yeah, Sanjana, what Grey Smoke said is absolutely right. Okay, MHCET caters to amazing colleges. Please don't think about it. Yeah, so I'm giving you tips. Please focus on the tips instead of putting your questions in between. These are important tips. Do not leave the entire section. Some students completely leave out the section, completely leave out 10 to 15 questions. That is fatal. Do not do it at any cost. Try to attempt as many questions. There's a simple practice of ratio, percentages, simple profit and loss, simple interest, etc. These simple topics that were there in your 10th, 9th, 10th exam. There's no algebra, there is no geometry, there's no differentiation, integration, nothing scary like that. Simple arithmetic questions are there which anyone can practice. You have been doing it since class 1, so it's not extremely difficult. It's not scary at all. So you just need to devote 15 to 20 hours to quantitative preparations every day, and you are through. You can actually score 100% marks in this section just by giving 15-20 minutes of your schedule every day. Just that, not more than that. It can be 25-30 minutes if quantitative techniques interest you, but not more than that. This should be enough to get you through this section. Okay, that is one thing. About GK current affairs, there is a mix of static and dynamic. Okay, static and dynamic. And static is the information that doesn't change, and dynamic or the current information is the information that keeps changing. Now, everybody tells you that this is the most important section. It is actually the most important section. Santosh, somebody from our team can contact you. If you can leave out your details like your email ID or something, we'll definitely contact you. I mean, 15 to 20 minutes is what I used to give 15 to 20 minutes every day. But if you are slow, like, no, everybody has their own stamina. Some students take a little time to solve the questions. So obviously they would start with 25-30 minutes, then they can reduce to 15-20 as the practice, as they become better. So again, that is subjective, but a little bit of time can take you a long way. That's what my objective is. So static and current, right? It is going to be a mix of static and current, but you can not say this for sure that it is going to be an amalgamation. It can actually just be static and it can just be current also. But static information is not the conventional static that you are used to. You are not supposed to study Lucent for CLAT, guys. No. Okay, the questions from Lucent might have a weightage of 1 marks or maximum 2, but not more. Maximum 1 to 2 marks. For 1 to 2 marks, if you are, if you are planning to mug up an entire book, is not a good idea. No, no, no. So just leave out Lucent altogether. That's my personal suggestion. If you want to go any other way, if you wish to study from Lucent, that's absolutely your choice. Nothing against Lucent. It's a wonderful book. But what I'm saying is it's not really relevant for CLAT preparation. The static portion is not asked from Lucent. It is actually related to current. I have given this example. I'll give it once again. Let's say that there is a news going on about hijab incident. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Or let's say that, recently Switzerland uh, legalized gay marriage. They legalized gay marriage. Now gay people can get married in Switzerland. And they did it through a referendum, which is a practice conducted in a direct democracy. If there is a law or a legislation which concerns rights of the people directly, they ask people if they want that right. So if the majority votes in favor, the legislation will pass. Legislation is passed, otherwise not. That is what direct democracy is, and that is what referendum process is. So let's say that there is a news relating to gay marriage in Switzerland. Now, static information with relation to this would be what exactly is, not what exactly is gay marriage, but what exactly is referendum process. You should know about the referendum process. How was the gay marriage bill passed in Switzerland? You should be aware of that process. Is there a provision of gay marriage in India? If there is, which provision is it? What is the law relating to gays in India? What are the laws relating to homosexuals in India? Has there been a recent change with regard to homosexuality in India? Now that is static. So another example can be hijab. Let's talk about hijab controversy. Now hijab controversy happened in Karnataka, right? So this is a current piece of information. What happened? How did it all start? What were they demanding? What did these saffron muffler people did? The entire story that is current. But the static information would be Karnataka's Chief Justice, Karnataka's High Court Chief Justice, Karnataka's Chief Minister, because the state government passed the regulation of uniform. Okay. Hijab or the right of hijab comes under which article? What does the article say? What are the similar articles relating to that article? That is the static information, guys. Okay, so static will not be ancient medieval history. No, it's not going to be geography or economics. No, they're never going to ask who started Deen-e-Allahi or who built Qutub Minar or who was the creator of Taj Mahal. No, they're not going to ask you that. The static will directly relate to current. So, for example, if there is a news relating to Karnataka which has created an international or a national outrage, everything related to Karnataka becomes important. What are the monuments in Karnataka? What are the, is there a wonder or a very very important monument which has maybe been certified by the UNESCO World Heritage as a national monument? So stuff like that becomes important. So you complement your static with current using this strategy. How can you do it? This is a very simple way. You need to study newspaper every day. That is the best way to prepare for current affairs. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut as how to read the newspapers, ma'am. I get bored. You have to strengthen your willpower. I don't know how you do it. There are several ways. The strengthening willpower is just by continuously doing the activity that you find mundane. Okay, keep on doing it. Become adamant that I am going to do it no matter what my brain says, and eventually the willpower takes over and the boring streak that came across your mind is completely gone. Shreya, you need to figure out what mistakes you're making. If you're not able to score well in mocks, you're definitely making mistakes. What are the mistakes? Analyze the mistakes. Rectify them. The score will improve. Okay. There are different books for different sections. For CLAT, legal reasoning, you can take Universal or AP Bharadwaj. You can take mocks from BYJU'S exam portal also. There is not a book which tells you the concepts. They're just books that gives you the questions. So the books with maximum number of questions would be a good book according to me. Okay. So you have to read newspapers every day. There's no shortcut regarding that. Read newspapers every day. It's again very subjective. Try to focus only on the most important part of the news. Do not read everything in the newspaper. It's not good, Shreya. You need to figure out your mistakes. I cannot tell you what mistakes you're making because I don't have your paper. So you need to. So you are continuously making the mistakes. See, these are some things that only you can do, only you can cure. If this had been an offline class and I could see your question paper and may see the mistakes you were making, maybe I could guide you. But right now you can do it. You actually should focus on the international and the national events. Okay, so international national events cover everything, even the sports. So if there is a sport event which is of international importance or something that everybody would look up to, oh my god, that award, oh my god, this event, so something like this is important. Okay, international national events that have created a stir, like people are talking about it, critics are writing their opinions on it, there are editorials written on it, there are debates getting conducted on the media houses. So stuff like that is important. Only that. Okay. So if you look at the question paper of CLAT 22, you would see that they focused only on the most important parts of the news. This news that were most talked about, Ukraine issue, that issue, which issue. Like we already told you what to focus upon. So newspapers along with CLAT Ignite at the end of the month is more than enough. That is enough for your GK current affairs preparation. CLAT Ignite gives you the static information also. So read newspapers every day. Note down the important information that you derive from the newspaper. If there is a static information that you think you should be aware of, note down that, Google it, and then complement it with CLAT Ignite at the end of the month. Figure out what parts you missed, write them in your notebook, and you're through. Make notes of GK current affairs. Very important, because towards the end you need to revise all that you prepared, and you cannot revise it through newspapers. You cannot read all the magazines again. So that is why you need to have notes with yourself. So that is one more strategy to get into NLS Bangalore within 4 months of preparation. Okay. Now we have logical. So logical, you have to be smart. Assumption questions are very common questions, and they are the most focused questions right now. In English, the main theme question, the tone of the passage, and the vocab questions are getting pretty common. They're not diving deep into complicated grammatical questions, only basic grammar. In fact, CLAT 22 did not have a grammar question. So just stick to the vocab, main theme of the passage, and you are through. You can actually score very well in English. So just prepare smartly and you can do a wonderful job. Yes, Debangshi, I stand by what I said. I stand by what I said. In the first few mocks, obviously you're going to get 50, Debangshi, because you're not prepared. You have just started with your preparation. So that is what you would be getting. As soon as your preparation, solidifies, becomes old, you start getting better marks. That's a logical thing to say, right? So these are the tips for logical reasoning preparation. Just focus on the most important topics, the topics that have been recently asked, and the topics that are asked mostly. You can discuss them with your, concerned faculty, Alpha ma'am, KD sir. They'll tell you. So the topics which are the most common remains common throughout. Like they won't surprise you with any question that has not been asked ever. Don't worry about that. They will stick to the basics. They will stick to their old conventional questions. Just keep on practicing those old conventional questions like vocab, main theme, assumption based questions, etc. And you can actually perform very well in this section. Okay. Now comes legal. What to do in legal? So basically the legal, civil is the most important part that you need to focus on. I have discussed the most important topics in torts, constitution, criminal, and various other subjects many times. You can watch those videos and figure out what the topics are. You cannot, you cannot take the exam without having an idea of what these laws are, because the time is extremely less. You don't get enough time to read the passage, decipher the passage, figure out the law, understand the principle, and then solve the question. You don't have that much time. You ideally have less than 1 minute for each question. So you have to play smart. You need to be prepared beforehand. And that is why legal information or concepts relating to law are actually important. So make sure that you are clear with the fundamentals of tort law, constitution, and contract. The fundamentals of these three. Okay. In fundamentals, the tort, the kind of torts, what torts are recognized in India, or the most common torts and the defenses related to them. That's it. Constitution, stick to fundamental rights, constitutional rights. That's it. Fundamental rights and constitutional rights should be enough to get you through. A little bit of idea of Indian polity can really help you. You can take help of 11th, 12th NCRT for Indian polity. So Shreya, then why are you getting distressed, sweetheart? You have just started. Give yourself a benefit of doubt. Don't forget that you are just a child. When you start, it's an absolutely new experience for you. So if you get low score, that's fine. Give yourself some time. Furnish your preparation. Rub a little bit, make it shiny, decorate it, add to it, and then you'll start getting good score. Okay. So 11th, 12th NCRT Indian political science is more than enough, but you have to read it because it is important. And apart from this, there is nothing of Indian polity that you need to know. The basics of torts, like I told you, the torts and the defenses of torts. In contracts, voidable contracts, that should be enough. A little bit about the essential of contracts is also important. Voidable contracts, agreements, void agreements, or voidable, I already said it. So the important doctrines relating to contract law, I have already discussed them in one of my YouTube sessions. Criminal law, just stick to the offenses relating to body on property, and that to the major ones like murder, culpable homicide, theft, extortion, robbery, just that. A little bit of private defense, just understand the concept of private defense. Don't go on to read every single section. No, just see where it is available, how is it available, when is it not available, and how much of it is available in private defense. The general defenses, just important ones, not all. In constitution, I already told you what to do. Family law, there is one passage continuously being asked from family law. So Hindu Muslim marriage and divorce are important. Okay, so the concept of marriage in Hindu law and Muslim law is something that you should study, because there will be a passage on family law. If there is not a passage on Hindu Muslim marriage, there might be something relating to family law, but then they would create their own hypothesis, which is going to be like a simple story with facts, just like any other unseen passage that you have solved. Right, so don't get scared just because it is a concept that you never studied. Not everything requires to be taught, not everything is required to be studied. Special Marriage Act and this and that are absolutely out of your syllabus. If they give something out of it, like out of Hindu Muslim marriage, something related to maybe child custody or succession, etc., they will make that passage extremely simple, and they will give you everything in that passage. Just follow the passage, underline the most important parts of that passage, solve the questions, you are done. Okay. Previous question papers would be 20, 21 and 22, along with the two papers that consortium released. Practice as many passages as you can. I would suggest to solve at least 2 legal passages every day. Okay, 2 legal passages every day should be done. That should be your goal. About 15 to 20 minutes of quantitative if you can every day. Along with 2 legal, I would suggest go do at least 2 from GK current affairs. Now this becomes 4 passage. After 4 passage, it is your wish to do any other thing. You can do quant, you can complement it with quant or English or logical depending on what you wish to do further. But since they form the most important or the most significant part of the paper, 50% of CLAT comprises these 2 sections, legal and GK. So you need to practice them more regularly than the others. Okay. I just told you, Shivraj. Okay, everybody, are you guys clear? So these are our success stories or the students of BYJU'S that have qualified the top tier 1 colleges, as you can see. And there will be interviews that we would conduct with them very, very soon. So you can just stay tuned and you will have an idea of what they did to get into the best colleges of the country. So that's it for today, guys. I hope I helped you, gave you enough to start your preparation. Do like the session. Nobody leaves without liking. Comment on it, share it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Press that bell icon right in the like there is a bell icon on your screen, so press on it, and whenever there is an important session that we release, it will be notified to you, right? Thank you so much, everybody. Good day, take care. We'll meet very soon again. Bye bye.